Hi, welcome to Leap Taken. This is Mika. Here at Leap Taken, I talk about all things witchy, craft-related, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. And today I'm going to talk about a very fun topic. I recently did a video talking about manifesting your lifestyle as opposed to just trying to manifest certain events, certain things to happen. And I kind of wanted to get and tap a little bit more into the secret behind manifesting a lifestyle. And this is the perfect place to do so in my sanctuary here. So I think the one true magic that gets things done faster, more powerful, and with almost precision accuracy if you're doing it correctly, sex magic. I'm sorry, it's it's the one that gets the job done. And let me tell you why. The amount of energy that you're raising in order to carry out the act to completion requires, it's a lot of energy, and it's very raw, unfiltered energy. And when you learn how to direct that to intentionally manifest certain things into your life, or overall to support your lifestyle change, it's powerful. So I want to get into this conversation and get into the details, probably not in the way you think, but stay with me. So when I talk about manifesting a lifestyle, let me tell you how that kind of looked now that we're in this comfy, cozy area. What that looked like is scripting, where I basically wrote down every time I scripted a newer thing. I didn't always write the same thing. It was about the same subject, but it wasn't always the same exact writing, if that makes sense. So I would basically write about how, I wanted to manifest an entire life of me living in a certain place, my morning routine, comfortable, my emotions, how I felt, a sense of stability and safety, financially, healthy, I would just pick one of those elements and just really kind of just go all in and write about it. So scripting was the part where, to me, I was like world building. If you're in a world of, if you write novels and things like that, there's this whole world building concept. So world building, right? And then I would do that. And then I would also stop and think, okay, so that's my world building. And then I would think to myself, okay, so what else can I do? I would still do spells, like your candle magic spells, petitions, burn them. After I wrote, a petition to the universe, to ancestors, or whatever. And then on top, because I believe spells on spells on spells, I like to layer them. And then there's sex magic. So then where does that come into play? Well, that could be with a partner or by yourself. And by the way, or both, a combination. But basically what you do is it's intentional. And basically what you're doing is you're going into this physical interaction knowing full well that when you get to the part where you're raising that energy, that when you release it intentionally directing that energy toward your goals, the things that you want to bring into your life. And it's not something you just do necessarily one time and say, oh, the spell's done, I'm done. No, this was something that I did more than once over a period of time. And the reality of it is, I think it was a combination of everything. Even I would do visuals. I would just sit there and meditate and just hold a whole movie in my head, so to speak, like a snapshot of my life in the future, of me having the things that I wanted to have and living the life that I wanted to live. And I would do this, and as long as I could hold it, because, it's hard sometimes to imagine for that long for some of us. So I was able to do that, and I would just throughout the day, just randomly do this. And I intentionally would do it before I would go to bed. So it's like a combination of all these things where I'm constantly staying in alignment. It was one of the best decisions I ever made to take that approach, because I realized I was moving, there were so many moving parts. I needed to be able to get all those parts working together for my, my end game. And my end game wasn't one thing. It was a lifestyle. So it wasn't just about money. It wasn't just about a person or about this. It was about me existing totally differently than my current situation at the time, my predicament at the time. I wanted to improve upon it, but I wanted to keep some things, if that makes any sense. So it's like, there's a lot of different pieces involved. But I needed to send a very clear and direct universe, a certain energetic push that I was occasionally just pushing, nudging, and ultimately adding in, to me, the sex magic piece is what really made the difference. I think I could have done all of those things and maybe I would have gotten close, but I think the thing that took the work that I did over was the sex magic. And I know for some witches that's a weird topic for them to kind of come to terms with, because they just think that yeah, it's a possibility, but it's not something they have to really concern themselves with. This is all up here. Your body, in the same way I'll say, okay, raise your energy by clapping your hands, snapping your fingers, raise energy by dancing, movement of sorts. Well, I mean, it is different, but it's technically still a physical activity that you're raising energy. Where it gets more powerful is that again, I can't speak for men, but for women, we have a portal that creates life, and souls are attached to these life forms that come out of our bodies. A literal portal. That's the same portal. If you're into penetration, that is. That's the same portal involved in your sex magic. You know what I mean? The components, I'm trying to keep this YouTube friendly, but just the anatomy of how we're all set up, everything that's there is the other parts, the other pieces involved are strictly there for pleasurable purposes, which leads me to believe it was all intentional by design. And our ability to create, regardless of where you stand, if you still have your womb intact, your uterus intact or not, that's not the point. Energetically, I believe it's there. So if that's going on, and then you employ a pleasurable activity, your body responds, but so does your spirit, your soul, your inner, like everything kind of culminates and comes together, and you're in this creative force. You are releasing this energy. You can choose to intentionally release it or not. You can just release it for the pleasure of it, which is what most people are doing. But if you can harness it, and what that looks like is basically in the act of where things are raising, you might, for some people, is fixating on something that represents the thing that you're manifesting, is visually placing it in your mind's eye at the same time. It may be saying a phrase out loud. It could, you might be drawing some sort of symbol that represents what you're manifesting into the air, onto your partner, onto yourself. Like it can be whatever you want it to be. And then, of course, maybe you say some words at the point of release, so to speak. And that kind of seals the deal. And and walk away believing that energy is being directed toward the thing that you're manifesting. That's the most easiest, simple way to go about it. If you're someone who has the ability to be a little bit more disciplined and focused, you can actually touch another object, a candle perhaps, that you're sending that energy to, and then burn that candle later. It could be another object, whatever it is that you need it to be, something that you're sort of coating the energy with. from that sexual act. You're coding that energy into this object. You can do that as well. You can sort of pull back, release, and then pull that energy back in, and then knowingly you're going to use that elsewhere to get, again, to help manifest your goal. There's all different ways to go about it, but like I said, the simplest is just sort of maybe speaking out loud. Some people can't do all those things in that moment. That's a lot of work to be doing. They're not really focused. So maybe just knowing to say a certain phrase that represents what you're manifesting is enough. But yeah, that is basically the basics of it all. That's really the big secret, I think, behind manifesting an entire lifestyle. I think that it's I think it's necessary work, to be honest with you. I think that, especially, again, just speaking from bio women, a person born with, as a woman, I think that, because I only know from there, I'm not excluding anyone saying that it's not possible. It's just that I don't know. And maybe if I have the opportunity to become educated in circles where I can listen to those women, and then I can learn, but I don't know enough to speak on it, so I'm not going to. But yeah, if I just think that it's just something within us that is able to just create from darkness, from seemingly nothing. And you tap into that using sex magic. In the same way that you create a body, a person, and a soul is attached, is amazing, right? That's a miracle in itself. That is like serious magic. That is witchcraft at its highest. So imagine tapping into that same energy in a very pleasurable experience, and then manifesting and creating a whole life for yourself, a whole new way of doing things, of living. It's possible. I'm not the first person to talk about this. I won't be the last, but there are a lot of people walking around here who live their best life. And yes, they employ sex magic. Not everybody talks about this kind of stuff openly, but the reality of it is, yeah, they do. And it helps. It's energetically, it's such a great way to use that energy. Like, it's so powerful. You almost be a fool not to tap into it. So if you needed a reason, if you were looking for an excuse, if you will, to finally see what this sex magic thing is about and to tap into that, there you go. This is your reason. Synchronicity. That's why I made this video. So hopefully it helps. So thanks again for watching. I'm Mika. This is Leap Taken. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share again. Thank you for watching. And yeah, let me know in the comments if this is even something you're receptive to. And if so, did it work? Whatever you were doing the magic for, did it work as intended? I'd love to know. All right. Thanks again. Bye-bye.